My name is Brianna, and I welcome you to the Tales of Adventure, a D&D podcast like no other.
I'm Sean from Discount Dungeons, and my character is Skizzix, the Goblin Wizard.
It's not every day you walk into a bar and see a goblin who's also a wizard. What brings you here?
Well, Goblin Wizards are quite rare, and no one really teaches us magic, frankly. What am I doing here, though?
So, how did you learn magic, then?
I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I've got a lot on my mind, so... See, since no one legally really teaches us magic, joined this fun little organization. They were called the Clan of Ash. Real nice group of cultists, you know. But they taught me everything I know.
I'm familiar with them. I actually just spoke to someone who told me about them earlier, the paladin named Tudak. Do you know him?
This is why I shouldn't tell a Tudak anything, I guess. Yeah, he's one of my companions. I'm thinking to have loose lips, though.
I tend to have that effect on people, but don't worry, I have a ring here. No one around can understand what they're saying.
Out of curiosity, what did he tell you? Because he doesn't know as much as I do.
He told me that you've had some encounters with them and that you were a part of them, and told me some about Stacy and how she's connected with them, but I'm curious to hear your side of the story.
Oh, we're just diving into the deep end then, aren't we? Well, Clan of Ash is a group of mages, strong men, cultists. Real simple idea. They want to bring about the coming of their god Tiamat to rule over us as our glorious queen. Not really into that bit myself, but, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
He certainly did not mention that part. I swear, every time I turn around, someone's trying to bring Tiamat back, and...
I mean, dragons are kind of cool. I gotta give him that, but...
Not that one. She's a pain.
Like, I've lived under a lash long enough to know, like, I don't really want to deal with that.
No one does. Some people think they do, but trust me, it's not worth it.
What did he tell you about Stacy?
He told me some about who she once was, and told me that she no longer remembers that, so... Sounds like she had a chance to a fresh start in a way.
Yeah, she's a good kid, but... I don't know, I just don't know how much she can actually handle her past at this point. She's not really taking it all that well.
I imagine finding out you used to be a leader of a cult trying to bring about the end of the world, essentially, is not an easy thing to get used to.
Yeah, and she's not quite happy that I kind of didn't tell her that or about her family, so...
Why didn't you? Don't mind me asking.
Well, at the end of the day... I have a question for you. Judging by the kind of people I'm describing here, do you think they'll take very kindly to their great and powerful leader suddenly turning into effectively like a 15-year-old girl?
I imagine that would paint a rather large target on her back.
Yeah, I mean, this is a group of people that have assassins, that have already internal power struggles, which only got worse in her absence, so, you know, they're not too happy with me.
So, were you part of how she lost her memories?
To be completely honest with you, no. I don't really know how she lost it. I know she went out to do some kind of ritual, and when she didn't come back, I went out looking for her. And I just found, Stacy as she is, wandering the forest.
The ritual went wrong, stole her memories, and made her younger.
Yep. If I were to have any kind of guess, I would assume it's some kind of, immortality ritual she was trying to do, but that's all hearsay at this point.
I could see how one of those going wrong would reverse someone's age. Imagine that must be very weird.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Yes, there's been a bit of a massive shift in personality, to say the least. Going from the kind of person that, you say the wrong thing and zap, disintegrated, gone to, hey Skizzy, can I have some like cookies and stuff? Like that's a real, real jarring.
I can't even begin to imagine, but she sounds rather adorable now.
She is. I feel like I've gone soft though. I can't do anything anymore. I can't even say mean things to people or she'll cry.
I wondered if that's what she was like before whatever had happened to cause her to become a cult leader.
Yeah, I don't know, it's hard to gauge. It's just strange to me that at all she could turn into the person she was. Don't get me wrong, I portray her very poorly. I have the utmost respect for Ecstasy, but it's just night and day,
And yet you continue to stick with her and protect her.
Suppose, to a certain degree, it's a bit of a sense of honor. Her and her son taught me everything I know, so I owe it to them.
I can understand that.
Oh, yeah, her finding out about the son thing, that was a real adventure.
Oh, yes, I imagine being 15 and finding out you have a child that is probably about your same age, I'm guessing, if not older?
Yeah, older, and that your child is half dragon, and yeah. Real nice guy, Rivian is.
I imagine she now has some questions about herself.
Questions, existential dread, you name it.
The existential dread part sounds relatively normal for most people, whether they admit it or not.
It's fair, but most people also don't have to find out that they were, an evil warlord planning on ruling the world, so it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
Well, now, maybe instead of ruling the world, she can save it.
Well, that's the idea. Apparently there's demons coming through to our world, so that's kind of a pressing issue, and I thought I really know how to fix that at the moment.
Yes, that's true. So, what made you decide that you wanted to study magic?
Well, all my life I've seen goblins ruled by various people, always someone stronger than us, and at the end of the day, I didn't understand why we couldn't be the ones ruling ourselves, so naturally I sought some sort of power, and, kind of motions to his, thin arms. I'm not exactly the strongest goblin in the world, so I might as well use what I do have, my intellect.
That's a smart way to go about it, and who knows, magic can make you stronger.
And feared, at the end of the day, lightning magic's kind of scary looking.
That it is. I also once knew a goblin in another world who somehow, he still won't tell me how, lived to be about 400 and then became a god.
Wait, really? Skizzix's eyes like to light up at this, by the way.
Yes. I need to get back in touch with him sometime and figure out exactly how he did that.
If you ever do, find me, we'll talk. Because I'm not getting any younger here, so I got a lot of work to do.
I think some of it may have had to do with soul magic stuff.
I can learn.
Maybe you and Stacy could figure out what she was trying to do and do it correctly this time, or find some other version of whatever ritual she was doing that won't accidentally turn you into a child. I imagine that would be counterproductive for whatever you're doing right now.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, kinda. Truth be told, as long as the entire world isn't destroyed, it'll probably be fine. Waves hand in air.
And the world does have a habit of trying to destroy itself pretty regularly. Especially when Tiamat's involved.
Well, on the bright side, Tiamat isn't really involved this time. The clan's trying to stop the demons. They're, fractured into two groups, so they're kind of a non-issue, at least for now.
For now being the important part. I would keep an eye on that.
Yeah, well, bright side is we have contact with her son, who's still in there and kind of wants her to return, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And Kane is, well, Kane's Kane, and we'll have to deal with that one of these days.
Yes, I remember hearing about Kane. It's not a very fun time for you, I imagine.
No. I find his works abominable, and the fact that he thinks he's the good guy in all of this because he wants to create a world of flesh golems. I don't know what screws are loose in his head, but it's a lot of them.
The bad guys who think they are doing good in the world are sometimes some of the scariest, because you can't convince them that they're wrong, and they will fight hard for what they believe in.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I get where he's coming from. I really do, but I just don't think it's the way.
Flesh golems are never the way.
No.
Horrifying.
And the fact that he must not have known that Rivian was her son, because if he'd known that, killing him right in front of her was not the brightest idea.
Oh. Yes, no, he's signed himself up for that's for sure, but that's not going to be a pretty fight.
Yeah, but don't worry, Rivian got better. I had to blow a wish on it, but I could think of worse uses for the thing.
You had the wish spell. Very hard to master.
I do not know how to cast wish. I found a ring that had it on it. I kind of looks around. Yeah, I kind of stole it. I'm not going to lie to you. But you need an ace up your sleeve, you know?
That's true, and I'm not going to judge you for stealing a wish ring. I would probably have stolen... No, wait. I have stolen one before.
I was just kind of hoping to use it on something... I suppose bringing someone back isn't mundane, but, you know, I kind of had bigger plans for it, you know?
What were you thinking you might do with it?
A lot of ideas went through my head. I initially thought of figuring out some way to completely sever Stacy from her past, because I knew how much pain it would be for her to relearn who she was. Though that didn't seem right in my book. I thought of ways maybe we could just wish Kane away, but everything I thought of, I could see loopholes the universe would find. I was just kind of working on hammering out some ironclad wishes. I just never got the time.
Yes, the universe does enjoy throwing all kinds of loopholes and twists at you.
Because at the end of the day, if I have any guess what Stacy went and cast, it might have been Wish, and if she's any proof of it, then that's not something to be trifled with.
Oh, fate has an interesting way of making sure you can't escape it.
I gotta know, if that was what she did, what poor wish did she pick that made her, become a kid? I mean, I feel like you would have thought of at least that far ahead, but maybe hubris, who knows?
Hubris leads to many a downfall, but it could have been worse. At least now she has a chance to pick her own path. Maybe become something different.
That's fair. Right now she's on the plan of relearning what she was, so we'll see how she takes that, whether or not she simply picks up where she left off. I don't feel like she's the type, though at the exact same time, I wouldn't think that she would become who she was, so it's hard to gauge. I'm just kind of along for the ride.
It's true, and I am glad that she has you. Someone who cares about her.
Yeah, because if she was found by, say, Kane, I mean, at the end of the day, he probably would have just put ideas in her head, which I think is kind of what he wanted to do anyways, because, when you find out that your great leader that's gone missing is a blank slate that can just say whatever you want,
Could use her to build himself up into something even greater, than use everyone's fear of her to make them fear him.
Exactly.
And that's not a good power for someone like that to have.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. So, it's one of those things, I'm really proud of keeping everything from her, but at the exact same time, if I had just brought them to her, even if I brought her to her family, would people have taken that well? Would have just ended up her getting killed anyways? Who knows? I just wasn't willing to take that chance.
You're trying to protect her.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, I guess deep down, I really just hoped that she'd come to, like, oh, maybe it was a side effect of whatever ritual she did, and, weeks' time, all her memories flood back to her, and as time progressed, I noticed, well, obviously that wasn't happening. The original game plan was I was going to see if I could bring back her memories, but at this point, I'm just kind of letting her go about her own thing, because I wouldn't want to go and force fate on her, She can choose her own path, she's her own person.
And you'll stick with her whatever she chooses.
Absolutely.
Unless it's to destroy the world, hopefully.
Well, as long as it doesn't take me with it, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm okay with whatever.
Sounds like you find yourself in a fairly uniquely sticky situation.
I mean, doesn't everyone who goes out and tries to make something of themselves? It's just the way of the world,
That is true. You go and try to make something of yourself, prove to the world what you can be, and the world is like, that's funny. And it goes wildly out of your control.
Out of my control is an understatement. I don't think I've been, at the helm of this expedition for a while now.
You're just along for the ride.
Yeah, pretty much.
Here for another drink?
Absolutely, sure.
We'll have another round and keep them coming. Sound like you could use to take a load off.
You know it. Because I swear, we have gone from one shitty situation to another. First we go to a place with a plague, then we, first we fight gnolls, then we end up basically just serving the order, fight some people in a plague town, now we're dealing with goblins, but which was kind of awesome, but then Kane showed up. It's just gone downhill. I just want, I don't know, one time someone to tell us to do something that's, not fucked.
I somehow don't think that's in the cards for you, my friend. When you start on the road on an adventure, it never goes according to plan.
At least bring me somewhere where I can use my skills. In Balea, there were guards everywhere, so I couldn't even try to go and use magic to influence anything.
I don't recommend that throw down guards. You never know how sensitive to magic they can be.
I mean, they gave me one fine for casting a spell to fight something that they were fighting, so, if that sums it up, I don't know what else will.
Really? They punished you for using magic to help them?
Yep.
Do they just have a problem with magic?
I mean, I'm technically not a licensed mage, and yes, everyone has a problem with magic.
This world is weird.
Well, I mean, magic apparently went and shattered the world years ago, so I can understand them being a little scared of it.
That is a third point. It can be very dangerous when in the wrong hands.
I would love to go and acquire in some way a spell-casting license, though frankly none of the colleges would ever have me, so I might need to reappropriate one.
It's a shame that they're so picky about who they accept. You don't have to look a certain way to be good at magic.
That's fair, but the reputation goblins have, so I understand, though I would prefer it if they kept a more open mind.
Perhaps you can show them how wrong they are.
Truth be told, I think in their eyes I'd be showing them exactly how right they are, but is what it is. How it took Tudak months to get used to me.
Is he not a fan of goblins?
I honestly don't even know what his deal is, frankly. He just didn't like me from day one, but we're generally pretty fine right now. He's the closest thing I have to a confidant in this group.
It's good to hear. He seemed to be of the good sort. But sometimes people have prejudices they might not be aware of.
Yes, truth be told, I'm just happy he's not the full-on goody two-shoes paladin. That would have been a nightmare.
Yes, I imagine that would have been. I've worked with some, and they're not all bad, but they can wear on you a little, especially depending on who all is in your group.
Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, he's at least, I don't know if he mentioned his oath, but seems like he can't back down from a challenge. I respect that. I mean, it's a bit too headstrong, but we all have problems, don't we?
That is true. If we didn't, life would be much more boring. And talking to strangers in the bar would not be anywhere near as entertaining.
Hopefully I'm as interesting as you hoped, or not. I don't know right now.
It's been interesting. I also had the feeling you could use someone to talk to.
That's fair. I really kind of dodged a bullet by us going and finding Rivian. Because after I brought him back, I found out that her wife, Lith, apparently really wants to kill me. Because, I disappear the same time she does. Nobody calls home. You get the idea.
She thought she ran away with you. Or you killed her.
50-50. Though, to be honest with you, I doubt anyone would believe I could kill Ecstasy. I mean, I actually know I couldn't, so...
Right spell at the right time probably could do it, but I also get what you're saying. It's hard to kill powerful people without them killing you first.
And I'm pretty sure I could lightning bolt her like 3 times in a row and wouldn't do anything, so...
That's a useful resistance to have.
Not a matter of resistance, just... I've seen her fight before. Frankly, I don't even think I'd get the spell off.
Probably not if she was as powerful as she said you were, but... Gotta be weird having someone's wife want to kill you, but... Were you able to get that sorted, or is she still trying to kill you?
I haven't gotten an answer to that question yet. I haven't spoken to her. Rivian is bringing back Stacy's necklace that was supposed like the thing she always wore, so... As proof that she's alive and well, and with the message to... In Stacy's words, please don't kill Skizzix. I like him. Thanks.
I hope that works. So I imagine her reaction's going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, it's like 50-50 in my book. On one hand, I hid ecstasy from her. On the other hand, I was trying to keep her safe. On the other hand, I lied to her about her family, but I did resurrect her son. So, I'd say, it weighs out to be, 50-50 whether or not she kills me.
I hope she doesn't, and if she does, I may know a necromancer.
I mean, I'd prefer not to be, a skeleton or something, so...
Maybe better to use a cleric, because most necromancers don't do the best job of bringing people back whole.
Yeah, I mean, if I wanted a necromancer, I will go to Kane and have him res me, but I really don't want that, so...
Yes, I'm also pretty sure he would bond you to him, so you would serve him. I don't think you want that either.
No, not at all.
So, have you ever thought about what you might be doing if things hadn't played out the way they had, or... I'm curious, because you all met when you were hired to do a job, right?
Yes. I mean, the original idea was just to get Stacy pretty much literally anywhere, as I didn't have a real plan. I guess the idea was I was going to hole up and see how her memories came back, because that was still when I was on the plan of hey, we're going to go and try to find somebody to figure out what's wrong with her. Her necklace was broken, so I thought maybe that has something to do with it. To be completely honest, I didn't have much of a plan. In terms of me, goals-wise, I mean... I would like to, at some point, just a little bit of a goal of mine. I'd like to rule over the goblins, but that's just me.
You don't dream small, do you?
Why should I? I mean, I'm perfectly capable of it. I doubt there's a single goblin that could best me one-on-one.
That's very fair.
And though I hate to admit it, traditionally we are a fairly cowardly lot. One bolt of lightning and everyone scrambles.
Well, perhaps one day you will rule your people.
Once I get them all organized... You actually won't like that part. Never mind.
Oh, do continue. I'm curious.
Well, once I get them organized, I'd recommend not coming here because we are taking over, baby. That's the plan. No more will anyone rule over us. We'll rule over them.
Does Stacy know of this plan?
We will cross that bridge when we get to it.
And what if she doesn't like it?
I will probably back down because I can't say no. But We are all like forward on this plan the minute that I don't have any other pressing things like invading demons, a friend who has amnesia, a powerful assassin who wants to kill me, an entire organization that thinks we're dead, and if they find out we're alive, oh no. I'm gonna be preoccupied for a while, actually.
Probably. What's this about an assassin wanting to kill you?
Oh, that's Lip.
Ah.
Stacy's wife, yeah.
I don't know if you mentioned the part that she was an assassin, but I definitely understand you being afraid of her.
Yeah, truth be told, like, I don't think I want anyone from the, I suppose, former clan of Ash. They've, like, really splintered off, chasing after me. All I know is that, don't tell Stacy this, but, like, Lith's kind of crazy. Like, I'm going to prove my devotion to you by, like, cutting out my eye kind of crazy.
That's disturbing.
Yeah, so I'm a little apprehensive about meeting her. It's why I'm still like 50-50 whether or not she just kills me. Actually, that's a lie. She's going to go and put me in a dungeon and torture me for a while. Probably kill me, raise me back again, or at least hire someone to do that. You get the idea. I know where I'm at this point.
A lot of people want to kill you, yes?
Yeah, pretty much. And truth be told, the whole us running from the Order probably is not going to help that. I mean, they think we're dead right now, but let's be real here. Secret organization that has members in like every city looking for a group that is a tiefling, a half-orc, a goblin, and 2 fucking birds. No, I mean, human too, so. But you get the idea. We're not exactly incognito.
No, you're not.
Now, I've never seen 1 Kenku, let alone 2 in the same spot.
I would love to talk to them sometime. I imagine from what I've heard about them, that could prove interesting.
You should. I mean, I think if there's anyone that you want to talk to, it would be Stacy. She's gone through quite the roller coaster. I'm sure she has a lot to talk about.
Oh yes, I would love to talk to her, if only to help her figure things out, because that's a lot to deal with.
Yeah, I still need to go and sit down and talk to her, to be honest. Because when she kind of found out who she was, well, she found out I'd been lying to her, and, well, we haven't really spoken since. Like, we've said a few words, but really nothing else yet. I can't blame her.
It's true, but you should talk to her. Explain. It may not be able to fix everything, but try. Send that olive branch, and she'll find a way to forgive you in time. Once she's had time to process things.
I hope so. Because, it's kind of funny considering who she is, everything. I've come to think of her as really family, I mean, at the end of the day, I've been trying my best to just, I don't know, keep her a good person. It's strange, but it feels right, I just don't understand how somebody so, frankly, happy-go-lucky and carefree could become who she was, and I guess there's a certain part of me that doesn't want that to happen again.
It's probably something truly terrible, or just being seduced by something very powerful and very dark.
Well, I imagine we'll find out sooner or later. The current game plan, at least, as far as I know, is Stacy wants to go and find some of the places she used to go to and read some of her notes, so maybe we'll get some more of an idea into her head.
I recommend talking to her before then, though, so she can know she can talk to you. She's trying to figure all this out.
You're right.
Needs her friend.
You're right. It's just hard to come up with the words, because, frankly, when Rivian laid into me about lying about everything, I kind of realized I stand by what I did, but I also understand how bad it looks. I didn't tell her who she was. I didn't tell her about her family, and I just kept lying about it. I didn't actively stop her from learning anything. But when she found out about Cain, I wanted to do everything in my power to stop her meeting him because I was scared, like, what that would bring up. So I don't know. It's hard to dig myself out of this hole to a certain degree. I know I need to do it. It's just finding the words.
Start with the truth. You told me. For the benefit of the doubt, she does trust you. If you start with the truth, she'll find a way to do so again.
Maybe you're right.
Other round of drinks and we can switch to lighter topic like magic.
Yeah, that works for me. By the way, you're going to notice that Skizzix has not drunk any of the things that have been brought to him.
Does he just not drink?
Skizzix doesn't drink.
She's gonna signal to the barkeep to bring him something non-alcoholic then.
Skizzix wasn't going to say anything about it. I just figured there's a real humorous image there.
Tales of Adventure is directed and produced by me, Brianna Toiber, as part of Pseudonym Social, a creative podcast network. The music is by Patrick Chester of Chester Studios. To see more of his work, visit his website at chesterstudios.net. Find out more about Pseudonym Social by visiting our website at pseudonymsocial.wordpress.com. If you like what I'm doing and would like to support this podcast, please go to patreon.com/pseudonymsocial and choose one of the tiers connected to Tales of Adventure. You can also leave a review on iTunes to make our show easier to find for those who need it.
Are you enjoying the show you're currently listening to?
Is that weird for anybody else?
Only if you make it weird.
Check out Good, Better, Quest, a D&D real play podcast on the Final Plank Network. Our group is working their way through earning their bachelor's in dungeoneering and all of the hazards that accompany it. If you are looking for laughs, tears, and friendship, Good, Better, Quest is here for you.
You would waste your life when there are plenty of other options. Why would you do this?
I hold up my hand to Moth. Helping your friends is never a waste.
Search Good, Better, Quest on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And check out Final Plank's other shows at Final Plank on social media. But remember, it's better than good. It's Good, Better, Quest.